Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Hi, welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1034. This is your host, Danny, and joining me this week, co-host of the show. Let's start with Pete, man, all the way from Europe. What's up, Pete?
Oh, hi. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
How's everything over there? How's the weather?
Weather is, it's 20 degrees or 18 degrees Celsius.
Celsius, yes.
We can't speak in freedom numbers here. It's a heavy week, more so for you guys there in the States. It's different, right? Definitely the palette has changed for hundreds of thousands, millions of people in the United States of all walks of life. So it's a hard week, man, and so I'm glad to be able to jump on here and talk to you guys and try to keep my mind off of what's going on over there with you guys and everybody else. But I don't want to start the show off, on a Debbie Downer. So, let's get into it.
Yeah. And also joining us is Paris, man. What's going on, Paris?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone watching us live on Twitch and everyone that is listening to the podcast right now. So I've had various ways I was thinking on what to say. Full disclosure, I wasn't even going to do this podcast as of yesterday. I just didn't feel right. I didn't want to do it with everything that's been going on in the United States the past week. People that follow me on social media, I'm sure you've seen I've been pretty active and pretty vocal about what's going on. I'm not here to recap that. I know there's a certain segment out there that does not like us to get political and to get into racism and all that. And while I do understand and respect that, please understand that this is our platform. So we are going to speak on it when necessary. And I'm not necessarily going to sit here and preach to you right now, other than to say that I am a 46-year-old African-American, a black man living in America, and I have dealt with racism and police brutality my entire life. It is nothing new to me. What happened this week was not new to me. What Amy Cooper did this week was not new to me. It's just sad that it's 2020 and I have to have the same talk that my mother gave me 40 years ago, I've had to give to my children as well. And it's ridiculous. When I say the talk means being an African American, you have to deal with the police a certain way to make sure that you, A, don't get your ass beat, B, get thrown in jail, or C, wind up dead. It's just the facts. You may not like that, but it's just the reality of where we are. And I think a lot of eyes were open to that in the world this week with what happened in Minnesota, because that's been our reality forever. So again, it's nothing new to me. It was not new to my kids because I had already taught them this reality. What I think is really happening is I think a lot of non-black people have had their eyes opened very wide to our reality. And that's why you're seeing so many protests around the world. I do not condone any of the violence that has happened, any of the looting, any of that stuff, because that is not right. I also don't condone people generalizing and grouping the entire police force into being scum and they're all murderers and this and that, because they're not. Some of my best friends in the world are police officers, and we talk about this stuff a lot. And they're not black either. They're white. And we talk about this even before any of this happened. Trust me, they're embarrassed right now. Not 99% of the police are good people. They're hardworking people trying to take care of their families and do their job, which is to protect us. And it's that small group that gives all of them a bad name. So we need to be respectful of our police, and we need to stop looting, and we need to stop all the violence that is happening in our country right now. And just overall, stop killing black people, period. And I will not apologize for that. I do not care if you're offended that I say that, because this is my reality, not yours. It is mine. And any other person of color would agree with me, because this is our life. This is our reality. This is how we have to traverse through the world. And now you see what we go through. You see that we have to give our freaking children a playbook on how to traverse through this world and not wind up getting killed. You now see that what white privilege looks like when you see an Amy Cooper, because she didn't want to follow the rules in Central Park, and how dare a black man tell her to follow said rules, she decided to weaponize her privilege and try to get to police to deal with him. That's scary for someone like me, because if he didn't have a video camera, he may have wound up being dead, in jail at best. So again, respectfully, because I love everybody, right? Obviously, I married a white woman. I have biracial children. I don't have hate in my heart. I don't have racism in my heart. The only thing that I ask of everyone is listen. Listen when these black voices are telling you what we go through. Listen. Understand, you don't have to be completely educated on it. You don't have to be a social justice warrior out there fighting the fight, but you need to listen and understand what we go through, and use your platforms to elevate those black voices that need to be heard. That's it. Because, there was a sign I saw. I went to a peaceful protest out here in my area, and I took two of my kids with me so they could see. And there was a sign I saw, and I put it on Instagram and Twitter, where a girl was holding up a sign saying, "Please don't judge me by my skin tone." And that's it. It's really that simple. Don't judge me because I'm a darker shade than you. Judge me because I'm the a-hole that I've always been, right? Don't judge me just because you see me, he's a little too dark, so he's X, Y, and Z. Judge me by my actions, not by my appearance. And that goes for anything. That goes for the police, everyone, right? As long as we do that, we'll be fine in this world. But I'll tell you this, what happened in Minnesota, what happened in New York this week, the protests we're seeing around the globe, this will not be the last time. I want people to understand that this will happen again. Will it? But now we have more awareness to it. We're able to react to this, more. And it's so sad now. And I'll stop talking here. It's sad when my mother, who's 73 years old now, calls me yesterday, and she lives in Tampa, Florida. She calls me yesterday, and, obviously she's concerned, checking up on me, the kids, the whole thing. But the sadness in her voice that she goes, "We're literally repeating everything I went through during the 60s. It's exactly the same. This is all the civil rights that we fought for in this country, all the marching, everything, the brutality, everything. It is an exact repeat is what she witnessed this week. And that's sad. That's sad. That was 50 years ago, and we're still talking about the same stuff. So that's it. That's all I have to say. I know I'm preachy. I apologize to the people that are here for video games, but it's something I had to say. I just had to say it, and we can now go back to your scheduled video game arguing about stupid pieces of plastic. Who really gives a crap about? But go ahead.
You know what? Before we start arguing about pieces of plastic, I want to say this. Yesterday, I woke up and I thought about friends. I thought about people that are going through a lot this week, right? And I said to myself, you know what? I protested before many times in the 90s against police brutality, right? And I posted pictures on that, like on my social media. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go protest, man. So I left in the afternoon. I was marching, got together with people of all genders, race, everything. We went out marching peacefully the whole time. I was out for like over 6 hours, nonstop walking. There was people that were just hanging out, sitting down like at a park, or they were probably in line waiting to go inside to the supermarket or grocery store, and they joined us. White people, Asian, Latinos, everybody, blacks, right? Peacefully the whole time. I posted pictures on social media, and the majority of people positive, retweeting everything. And there's going to be people that I really don't give a crap. I'm about to say this, but they were just right away saying, Danny, you better not start looting, or saying like stupid things like that to me, knowing that I'm not into that stuff, man. I don't do that. I've been protesting about this for years, and I've never in my life have done that. And I got really pissed, man. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna reply. I'm not gonna interact with those type of folks. I kept on going, and I left like around 6:30. I even called Paris right after I was done, and I told them, yo, it was very positive. It was super organized. People were sharing hand sanitizer, masks, water the whole time. Food, they even gave us food, man, while we were marching. Everything was peaceful. But there was certain people, and there were certain cops. Paris, I agree with you. 90% of the cops are good people, man. Right? But there was some that were just, you could tell they were starting stuff, man, with us, man. And we were not doing anything bad. We were just marching the whole time, man. Marching and just being vocal. And I just got like frustrated, man, when I got to see what happened yesterday, man. Like, there was protesters that almost got killed yesterday, man, here in New York. You know, like that's not right, man. That's not right at all, man. And I have to say this because I've been noticing a lot of companies been posting a statement about everything that's going on here. I know I saw it with Spotify, Netflix. I know from the gaming side, I only seen Twitch, Astro Gaming. I know there's a couple of esports organizations that also posted statements. But you know what? Where are the other companies that always have Black events, Latino events at GDC, celebrating Black History Month and Latinos like all the time? They've been silent, man, and that's the thing that has been bothering me for days. That they would love for us to support them and buy their products, but they haven't said anything to support us, man. You have the power to influence people, man. The power to influence people, and at least show us that we're not feeling alone, man. And they haven't said anything. So yes, all your favorite gaming companies right now that haven't said anything, I'm watching you, man, because I find that it bothers me, man. It bothers me, and it's like, I don't know what else to say, man. Like, it's tiring, man. And I know there's employees that work at these companies that they've been also vocal. I don't blame them at all. But we need support, man, from everybody, man. It's easy to fly us out, get all these content creators to support and create your promote your products and games. But where are the ones that also we need support from them? They haven't said anything, man. That's the thing that's really been bothering me, man, for a while now. And I just want to say that very quick because I'm tired, dude. I am so tired. I'm tired. I'm always thinking about my I have family members that Afro Latinos in my family. I'm worried about them. I'm worried about Paris, his kids. You know, I'm worried about people, man. This is tiring, man. It's frustrating, man. I know we're gonna be talking about, next gen and all these stuff about gaming, but I feel like we have a platform to say something, man. And I don't want us to be shut. And if you don't like what we have to say about this, please unsubscribe. Please unfollow me. I really don't give a crap, man. I really don't, man. I'm tired of this stuff, man. And I apologize. I'm kind of like frustrated and pissed off right now, but I had to say something, man, because we were marching peacefully yesterday, man. And I wake up this morning and I watch the news, and that's the first thing that all the media is talking about, is just the violence and all this stuff, man. And it's just to create clickbait and headlines. And it's just frustrating, man. So we can move on if you want. If you want to say something about that.
It has to be said, right? And those of us who have a platform and are able to speak, we should, right? Like the three of us, we were talking earlier this morning about how all of this affected us individually, right? Paris, how it affected it, good English there, Pete, how it affected him and his family in California, at a peaceful protest. how it affected you and your family, and those around you protesting peacefully in New York City. And moments after you guys left your individual protests, you guys were lucky, because that's when the bleep went down in your respective areas, right? Paris, you mentioned, the young girl that was holding the sign got hit by a car. Danny, the video that you were talking about, and how you decided, hey, it's time, I've done my duty. I've gone out here and I've protested for hours. I'm going to go home. I don't know if that was an angel touching you on your shoulder or whatever, saying it's time to go back, but you got lucky, because shortly after that is when those 2 police cars rammed through, peacefully protesting folks. What else
could have been me.
We do?
It could have been me.
What else? But and that's the thing. The whole problem stems, aside from the blatant racism and systemic brutality from the police, but it starts with leadership. And until our leadership comes out and stands up for us, and I say us, even though I'm 5,000 miles away, but I'm still an American. I'm still a U.S. citizen. It starts from a position of leadership. And right now, we have none. Okay? Right now, and I'm using bunny quotes here, leader, because he isn't one, is doing everything for either personal or corporate gain, not for the protection or the safety of the citizens of this United States. And until that leadership is changed, and until people are actually doing things to change the current situation, we're going to continue to experience this. And I say we because I'm saying we as a nation. I can't put it in any better quotes, but if you go onto Twitter and you look up what Killer Mike said yesterday in Atlanta, I watched that video 4 times in my house yesterday in tears, because he put into words the frustration, and I think I even posted this on Twitter. He put into words, probably better than anybody else could have, the pent-up frustration of this nation and of people of color. And I mean, shout outs to him, shout out to everyone else who has gone out and protested, every single person. And I've been watching, and I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I keep going onto Twitter, and all I'm seeing is video of the police antagonizing, enticing, and forcing this violence to occur, to put people into a negative light. We've seen the alleged pallets of bricks in a courthouse when there's no construction going. We've seen the alleged pictures of cop cars, old cop cars staged in areas in order to entice rioters or protesters to set it on fire and make it seem like this is all a violent protest. It's not. We need to be better. We need to do better. And I mean, it's a shame. And like you guys said, let's just try to make this a positive podcast and get away from them. Let's try to move forward. But I'm glad that we all have this platform and the ability to at least say our piece, put our thoughts out, and at least get it off of our chest, because I think that goes a long way as well. Being able to just speak it out and say it and just get it off our chests.
No, I was gonna give a shout out to Spawn on Me. Make sure to listen to that episode. It was really good, and I think it was great content, great conversation. So yeah, head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback, listen, and make sure to share it, tell people about the show. And if you have an opportunity, go to Apple Podcasts, also post a review. That will help us out too. And if you would like to be part of Fan Mail, this is how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so it looks like it's official. This week, it's going to be a big week in gaming. Sony officially announced that they're going to have a review event June 4th. Originally, it was that day. Then we heard it was June 3rd. Now it's back to June 4th. So that's going to be a good thing, man. Supposedly, we're going to get to see a couple of first-party games. They're going to be announced. Also third-party. And a little bit information about the console, which most likely they're going to save that for like another digital event. Because I read on Bloomberg, they're planning to have multiple from now to like launch. So it could be within weeks. It could be in months. But it's good that Sony at least are talking about it. Save some content for the next one. So what do you guys thought about this, man? And do you think that we're going to see more than 2 games announced, more than one at least? Or you think they're just probably going to do the same thing, slowly show these games? What do you guys think about this?
My thoughts on it is, first of all, I'm very excited for it. While I may not agree with PlayStation and who they use all the time to display their games, as far as content creators, again, that's another story for another day. But the actual PlayStation and this reveal event, what they're about to do with the PlayStation 5, I mean, it's, you and I have debated this forever, but it's pretty much exactly what I thought. We're going to get to June. We're going to see the PlayStation 5 and they're going to start to reveal some of their games. There's been speculation on, do they only show a few of their quote unquote first party games at this event? And this is really more of a third party showcase to kind of show some of those other games. Maybe. But I do think we at least see the PlayStation 5. I can't, at least I hope, again, and we talked about this too, I can't see a scenario where we don't see that hardware next week or this week. And then maybe, like you said, a slow drip of all the games and then have just a big blowout later. I don't think we get price or release date or anything like that. But I do think we see the PlayStation 5. They start to talk about some of the things that it can do. And we see some games to showcase that. I think that's what it is. I think it'll be more third-party games than first-party games, but I do think we'll see some nice surprises. And I'm excited for it, man, because this is what it's about. We're getting the unveil of all these next-generation titles. And I guess since I'm talking, I'll just end it by saying this. Also, they've adopted the strategy of PlayStation 5 will have PlayStation 5 only games. They're not, and again, first-party. They're not going to do cross-generational. Not a shock at all. It's what we've always done. And I told you before, their philosophy versus Xbox's philosophy is going to be different. And that's great because it's 2 different visions of going into the next generation. And we, the gamers, get to decide what we want to play and enjoy, right? I don't know which one is right. I think they're both of them have their merits. Both of them have their detractors as well. I get it. But this is the philosophy that PlayStation has adopted. They're saying that they're making games that are only going to be possible on that hardware due to the faster SSD, the memory, CPU, all that kind of stuff. Great. Show me some experiences that I've never had before, and I will 100% buy in on what they're talking about, right? And then obviously Xbox is doing something different. That's fine too. Let's see it play out. Is all I have to say. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this PlayStation reveal. I want to see these games. I have my fingers crossed on what potentially some of the things we might get in the launch window. And if those things come true, guess what I'll be doing on launch day? I will be buying a PlayStation 5. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, man. And yeah, I agree that we're definitely going to see more third party than first party from PlayStation. But hey, man, just imagine watching this and they'll show like a game like SOCOM, which I'll be awesome if it returns. Horizon Zero Dawn, the sequel, right? There's a lot of games that they can easily announce and get the crowd excited and say pre-order is available right now. I think that would be awesome, man. That's overall.
So we know coming up on the 4th is supposed to be them talking about games, and I'm curious if they're going to split that. I thought we had talked about this maybe a week or two ago about how it was supposed to be two separate events. And I've been trying to look it up and I can't find confirmation on that, about whether they would have done a software, basically, just revealing games, which would have been June 4th. And then a physical hardware reveal. Question now being is, we know they're talking because they've Jim Ryan, I think, came out and said, we're going to do it's going to be a games reveal. Obviously they're going to tease hardware, but do we get the full actual reveal? And I'm assuming a price at the same time. They have another
at this event? At this one?
June 4th is supposed to be just video games, but do you think because they've already put that commentary out of, we're just going to be talking about video games, blah, 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 blah. At the end, they knock everybody off their socks by surprising them, say, oh, by the way, here's the hardware, here's the price, and just set everybody off like that because they've already captured the audience at that point.
I don't see Sony announcing the price. They probably will show the hardware, that maybe, but the price, I think we're going to see that later this summer, maybe August. Because remember, too, this is like a game of chess, man. Sony needs to see what also Microsoft is going to price their product to. Let Microsoft announce that first, and based on that, maybe Sony could easily make those changes to maybe have it for a little bit cheaper or maybe the same price. We don't know, but I think it's not the right time from either company to just start announcing price right now. I think later this summer, not at this event, not at the first review event. I don't see that happening. Do you agree with that, Paris, or what?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to play a game of chicken, both of them, on price and try and see who blinks first. I would say the only caveat to that is if PlayStation could, because, the rumors have said they obviously want to stick to $399 because $399 we've seen over the past 7 years has worked. I don't think the PlayStation 5 can get to $399 without them taking a severe loss on it. But if they magically could make that happen, they would confidently probably come out and announce that on the 4th that it's $399, because then they go, your move, Microsoft, you match that, which I'm pretty sure they're confident Microsoft won't. But I think overall, PlayStation is in a good spot. They don't need to say the price right now. Again, it's the summer of no rules. So we've seen you could wait as late as Gamescom to actually put up pre-orders and announce a price of a console. So, no, I don't think that happens on the 4th. I think we see the hardware, but then I think it'll be mostly about games. And then at a later date, we'll get more information on some of the capabilities. Obviously, we've seen some hints at their backwards compatibility strategy, stuff like that. They'll probably get more in depth on that later, but this will probably just be, hey, here's PlayStation 5. Here's the controller. Now you see what it looks like. You already know the tech specs on it. Now let's see what this technical monster we've created can do. And then they'll show some of the games. Everyone will get super excited. It'll break the internet. And then, people will start arguing about this and that and the back and forth, blah, 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 blah. And then we'll just go from there. So, but I'm, like I said, again, I'm excited for it, because I will tell you right now, for the record, if Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is at launch, I will be buying a PlayStation 5 at launch. That is probably the game that, if you look realistically, that could come out at launch, that would get me to go buy it day one. I mean, and I'm sure they're going to have some new IPs and some surprises of things that we're not even aware of, but of the known things that we know are coming, that would be the launch game. I don't think it'll be at launch, but it's very possible. The timeline, it lines up that it could be at launch if Guerrilla's been working on it the past 3 years, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So of those 35 games, because I can't remember who it was in our Discord had posted a picture from the PlayStation Magazine article that said there's 35 plus games coming, 35 next gen games coming to the PlayStation. But the narrative on that is kind of skewed because those same games are coming to those were all third party titles, right? I'm hoping that this lineup on June 4th is special and momentous, because at the end of the day, they need to show strong and start building momentum for that push towards the holiday season. Me personally, I think they dropped the ball with the Mark Cherney GDC talk. I'm I understand that was destined for GDC. It was not supposed to be for public consumption. And I mean, even as a technophile, and let's be real, as you know, even having an IT background, a lot of that kind of went over my head and probably over the heads of many. So I really think they need to go back to what put them on top. Focus on their games catalog, right? At the end of the day, this is basically their E3 pitch coming to a head. They started, low and slow with the DualSense controller reveal. Then they revealed the logo. Then, just short while ago was the Unreal Engine 5 demo. So I think they need to start driving that message forward of here we go. Here's our monster killer lineup that everybody's looking forward to. And then at the end of the day, what is Xbox going to do in response?
This shouldn't be about Xbox, though. We shouldn't be talking about Xbox right now. This is about PlayStation, because if I can say one other thing, I think one thing we do on the show that gets a little tiring is it's constantly about Xbox versus PlayStation. It doesn't need to be about that. They're both going to be freaking great. They both are. Right now, the news is about PlayStation. It's not about Xbox. Xbox is going to have their time, and then we're obviously going to talk about that at that time. But to bring Xbox into a PlayStation discussion just fuels the nonsense that we see on social media all the time. I think we should focus on PlayStation, but that's just my 2 cents. No,
you're right, and sometimes that's our fault. I know last week I recorded on my own, and I said the same thing too. And then I listened to the show. I'm like, man, why I had to bring the other company? I don't know. And you're right, Paris. You're right about that.
And anyways, look, I'm obviously we're in a very elevated state right now, so I'm not trying to be an a-hole to say that, but it's just
no, it's true. It's just true. You're right.
Look. I want to be excited about play. I just love gaming, period, dude. I mean, let's just keep it real here. I just love gaming, period. And I think I'm just so annoyed that to elevate the thing that you love, you have to knock down the competition. Because like when PlayStation announced what they did, all we saw on social media was instantly comparing to what Xbox is doing. And then when Xbox put out their backwards compatibility plan, instantly everyone's up in arms about, well, why isn't PlayStation doing that? Because that's not what they want to do. Here's the thing, just straight up. Both pieces of hardware are going to be effing amazing. They are, for different reasons. They're going to do different things, and they're both going to be amazing. Both are going to have amazing exclusive gaming experiences on them. Third parties are going to support both. So third party games are going to be basically identical on both systems. So it's not going to matter. It really comes down to your personal preference, what you can afford, and the games that you enjoy. And it gets so freaking tiring that we do this dance every time a console cycle comes around that, well, this one's better, mine's better, blah, 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 blah. They're both effing better. They're both great. That's how you need to look at it. And again, I'm excited for this PlayStation reveal. I want to see what the hardware looks like. I already know the specs on it. I'm very curious of what the price is going to be. I'm very curious on what the launch lineup is going to be. Will I get one day one? Good chance, yes. Probably won't if games that I want to play aren't there at launch. But I know at some point in the next 18 months, I will own a PlayStation 5 because I guarantee it's going to have games that I want to play. I'll even take it back to the state of play that we just had last week with The Last of Us 2. It was freaking amazing. I loved it. Live streamed the whole thing. It was great, right? But then people still got to try and shoot it down. People still got to be a-holes and try and spoil it, right? So what? Day one of June, was it June 19th it comes out? I'm getting it. I'm playing it. Can't wait. And that's how we should be reacting to this stuff. It should be a celebration of gaming because that's what brings all of us together instead of this constant freaking bickering about my plastic is better than yours and my plastic costs less than yours, so that makes mine better, and mine has this game and yours doesn't, so that makes mine better. Who gives a crap? Seriously, who gives a crap? Enjoy what you want to enjoy and stop worrying about what other people do with their money. Again, I know I'm ranting, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I know I'm ranting, but I just had to let it out. I just had to get that out.
So
it's
Paris,
all good, man.
Paris, earlier this week during the Last of Us trailer reveal, I was watching your YouTube channel. And I remember us back in March talking about how Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I find it a little curious that a lot of that Sony to PC vitriol kind of died down. I guess that's how things happen on social media. Everybody gets up in arms about one thing, and then the next week it's something else. Considering I'm not a console owner at this point, right? I've dedicated myself to PC gaming. My question is, where will I be come PlayStation 5 launch day? Do I buy into another title? Do I buy into another console? Or do I wait hoping that in 3 years from now I can play the next Uncharted on my PC? You know what I mean?
But you just answered it. Like, for me, I'll just take it from my standpoint. I'm not waiting 3 years to play the next Uncharted. I'm not waiting 3 years to play on Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or Spider-Man 2 or God of War, whatever the case may be. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC is great, but it's very clear Sony's strategy isn't day and date PC and PlayStation 5. These games will come to PlayStation 5 and basically have an exclusivity window over a period of time. And then at a later date, they might put it on PC to kind of regenerate interest in the IP to an audience that hasn't experienced it on the hardware, which is why I think the Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PC this summer is very smart, because you're going to get PC only players who've never played that game that will pick it up and go, oh my God, this is phenomenal. Wow. Wait, the sequel's coming to PlayStation 5? Maybe I ought to buy a PlayStation 5 so I can play the sequel. I don't want to wait 3 or 4 years to play the sequel because this was great. And I think that's the philosophy they're doing compared to what Xbox is doing. Xbox is saying, hey, everything day one, we're good. Game Pass, subscribe, we love you. Whereas PlayStation is like, no. We want you to buy our hardware. We want you to experience these games first on our platform before we start allowing it to go to a PC platform. Again, I don't know which one's right. They're different. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my crux. That's my crux. Go ahead, Danny. I was just saying that's my crux. It's like, do I wait that 3-year gap, hoping that the title actually gets to PC, or do I bite the bullet and get it? Knowing me, I'll likely probably get the console because I want to play that Uncharted that's coming hopefully soon. If I know they haven't really announced it, but I'm hoping it's coming. I want to play that next Spider-Man title. Give me Miles Morales, damn it. I want to play The Last of Us, but I don't know if I want to get invested in multiple platforms again. I'm kind of happy where I am now. So I don't know if, and I'm not saying it in a negative way, but I don't know if I want to take a step back from where I am now and go with another console in the household. I'm happy with my Nintendo Switch and I'm happy with my PC.
My question to you guys is about the just a console. Like, do you want this console to be kind of how it is now with the PlayStation 4, like that size, or the Pro version size? Or does it even matter for you guys?
I really don't care because it's going to go on a shelf or behind, it's what it is. Whatever they got to do to make it amazing, go ahead and do it. I think if you look in comparison to obviously what the Series X is, it'll be fascinating to see how they're going to be able to cool it, because, the Series X looks the way it does because of the hardware that's in there, because of that sock that is in there, and it needs basically like a quote unquote next generation of cooling. So that's why it's adopting a tower style. So I can't imagine the PlayStation 5 looking like the original PlayStation 4 or even the PS4 Pro in size, just that design. It's going to have to evolve. So again, that's why I'm fascinated on the 4th to see what it will look like and how big it'll be, because, notoriously the PlayStation 4 is like, I don't know about you guys, but mine's, it's a jet engine, once it gets going. So are they going to be able to solve that? Let's see.
But see, it didn't sound like that in the beginning. It just, after a while, it was like, started sounding like some crazy engine. That's what happened with my PlayStation too. But people are saying this because maybe the design, it was easier for dust to go inside the console. But I've never gotten that from my other one, so I was like, really? Could it be because of that? I mean,
that's an issue though with every device. It doesn't matter whether
even
it's
PC,
an Xbox
right?
or a PlayStation. PC, I clean out my dust filters probably every 2 to 3 months. So that's not surprising. And because the PC is designed for humans to just go back, you're able to pull out the filters and clean them and blow dust. I don't know if the common consumer does that for their consoles. And so, I mean, I have one right here. I've got a Canon compressed air right here that I always use to blow out the dust on my PC. And that should probably come in the care package for parents when they buy their consoles for their kids is here's a can of compressed air. Use this every 3 months, blow out the dust on your consoles, because it's probably why you get the jet engine coming out of your microwaves.
Now, besides Horizon Zero Dawn, what games that you would like to see at least from the launch window of the console? Personally, for me, maybe some new Infamous game. I would love to see the return of like SOCOM, stuff like that. I don't see Uncharted coming out anytime soon. That's like that's like in the future. But is there any other games that you guys would love to see, at least for the launch window? It doesn't have to be day one, but
Ratchet and Clank, and I'm pretty confident we're going to get that at launch. But Ratchet and Clank would be one.
That's a good
You
one.
mean titles that haven't been formally announced?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn hasn't been announced either, so we're just guessing.
So, I mean,
based on rumors.
You already heard my comment, right? I want Uncharted 5, and I know probably not. There was a great post earlier this week on social media that's like choose only 2 pills: Horizon Zero Dawn 2 as a launch title, Uncharted 5 where you play as Cassie, Drake's daughter, Ape Escape games remade with as much care as Crash and Spyro, God of War 2 with the story revolving around Egyptian gods, Spider-Man 2 with Miles Morales, Last of Us Part 2 DLC where you play as Anna, Ellie's mother, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, but it comes out as good as Smash Ultimate is, or Jak and Dexter 5 featuring a gigantic open world nearing the size of GTA 5's open world.
Ooh, that's a good one. Hey, but no mention about Spider-Man?
I did. Hey. That was number 5. Spider-Man 2
Okay,
is Miles Morales as the lead.
You're right.
And so out of those 8, I know a lot of people were going, they want Horizon Zero Dawn. And me personally, I was like, give me Uncharted 5 and give me Spider-Man 2. Those are the ones that I want. Highly unlikely, especially because Spider-Man 2 just came out like 2 years ago or whatever. But yeah, those are the 2 that I'm looking forward to.
That's good, man. That's good. Nah, but I can't wait for the event, man. We're going to be doing like a live stream during the PlayStation 5 reveal digital event, June 4th. What time exactly? June 4th, what time?
It's at 1 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time for us in Europe.
Okay. And there you go. Just make sure to tune in here, twitch.tv/gamertag radio. And check out the reaction. And also, we're going to be recording a podcast with our thoughts after the event. So is there anything else, guys, you guys want to talk about or no? Besides that?
Excuse me. I had to clear my throat like a certain someone we know out there on the internet. I had to. You know I had to.
Shots fired.
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
Everybody knows who you're talking about. We know you're talking about.
Yep, I am. Just go watch that Rick and Morty episode. You know what I'm talking about. No, I guess I would just say, like, obviously the PlayStation event's coming up, so we're excited for that. I believe isn't EA Play is the 9th, I think. And I know it now. We know Bungie's also doing their Destiny 2 reveal on the 9th because they said that in the TWAB. And then obviously Night City Wire on the 11th. I'm obviously super excited for that. We're gonna get the Cyberpunk reveal, so yeah, we'll be streaming all that stuff when the time comes. Really looking forward to it. But this is it, man. I told Danny a couple weeks ago, I go, the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty slow because we're going through Memorial Day and just the end of May. But I go, dude, once the first week of June gets here, floodgates are going to open. And here we go.
Yep.
It's starting. PlayStation, that's just going to be the tip of the iceberg. It's just going to roll all the way through June. We're going to get into July. Obviously, the Xbox is going to have their big reveal and Ubisoft will have their thing. And it's exciting, man. That's why we're here. We're here for video games. We're here to celebrate them and be excited about them. I mean, I would say if I had any bittersweet thing that's happening this week, this would have been the week that everyone was going to start coming out for E3. So a lot of our friends around the industry. Obviously, you know, Danny, I know you were coming out. Pete, I don't think you're going to be able to come out this year, but just, you know, it's bittersweet. As much as I complain about E3 not being relevant, blah, 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 blah. The one thing that I truly enjoy every year is when we have E3, because we just get to hang out with all our friends. And selfishly, it ain't even about covering the games. For me, it's just about hanging out with all our friends. And, you know, we're not going to be able to do that this year because of COVID. So bittersweet. You know, my daughter would have been graduating high school this week as well. My whole family would have been out here. So that's bittersweet too. But it is what it is, just reality of the world we're in right now. But I am excited where we will at least start getting this distraction going of video game announcements this week. So I am thankful for that.
I do have to say one thing that I think is going to be, this is very, very important. Cyberpunk. I know that's going to be a big one. Paris is going to be streaming on his through his YouTube channel, so people could watch the live stream over there. And we're going to be joining Paris, talking smack, also joining in. So Paris, you want to mention the website, your YouTube channel? People want to check it out.
Oh well, yeah, it's just pretty simple. Just go to YouTube, and the easiest way is to just search my name, PARRIS, and you'll find the channel, because the official URL sucks and I can't change it because it's like /C/Marcelo696 is my actual YouTube channel. But you know, and I've talked about it on the channel itself, but I guess I'll talk about it here. Obviously, Night City Wire is coming. I'm going to be very excited for that. I want to live stream that, but beyond that, I want to create cyberpunk content, like video content, stuff like that on that channel. Obviously, I'm not leaving GTR. Nothing crazy like that has happened, but that is like my only one selfish, hey, Paris wants to do this thing. We'll clearly cover cyberpunk on GTR. We'll talk about it as a group and do all that stuff. But just selfishly, me talking about cyberpunk, it'll be on that channel. So any support for that would be greatly appreciated. And like I said, Night City Wire, they haven't announced the time yet, but on June 11th, we're going to stream that on the YouTube channel and go through the reveal, and we'll have a reaction podcast here on GTR, all that stuff too. But look, for a personal selfish thing for me, that is something I'm very excited for. And it's been a wild 2 years, man. Ever since Danny had that amazing idea to record my reaction coming out of that demo, so much has changed over the last 2 years. And I will be eternally grateful to Danny and Pete for supporting me along the way of this. And we'll see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen. We'll see what becomes of it, but it's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah. And, you know, I know during E3, we'll always post like interviews and roundtable discussions and a bunch of content, right? But because of the changes, I believe that we're probably still going to have interviews. We're working on some stuff, but we are also going to be posting roundtables and other, maybe invite other people too on our show from now all summer long, all the way to like August, because the news has been stretching out. Like all these companies been like, hey, we're going to have multiple announcements, multiple stuff throughout the summer. So we're going to have a lot more content. So just stay tuned and make sure to be subscribed here on GTR, man. So I think we're going to wrap it up here with the podcast side. So head over to gamertagradio.com, post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episodes. You could also find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. Also, if you'd like to be part of Fan Mail, this is how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, until next time, guys, thank you for listening. And remember to follow us through social media and hit us up after you listen to this episode. All right, until next time, we're out.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.